Get ready.
Hey there, Marvel heroes, and welcome to another Hawkeye review. So, let's kick off with episode 3 now. So, last week we had episode 1 and 2, and this week we have episode 3, which is titled Echoes. So, this is quite interesting. So, let's just move on over to here. Hello, guys. Sorry it's a late one today, and I've just been potching with things as well. So, you might have seen me before I started my intro. But apologies if you did. But yeah, so as always, first part of this is going to be spoiler free, then I'll give you fair warning, and you will then have your spoiler part of this review. So happy 1st of December. I've started decorating. Yes, I've only got a Mickey wreath up, but that's started decorating, isn't it? Hopefully by next week it'll be lots more festive behind me there. So yes, episode 3, sorry. Wow. It's surprising. It's like there was 2 episodes last week. I keep on forgetting there was 2. And this week, episode 3, it seems shorter, but it was still the full 50 minutes length that the other 2 were. It just, I think, everything just flowed with this one. So that was quite interesting, really there. Again, the relationship between Clint and Kate I thought was on point. Again, I think what was the phrase I was using last week? Spot on. I do believe that's continued again. I didn't really pick up on much of the music this time, but it was you still had your Christmassy things there, so it is clear that this is a Christmassy series. And there's quite a bit of emotion in one of the scenes on this one, and I could feel really for Clint in this one. So Jeremy Renner's acting again was fantastic. You can really tell that he is he's getting on now, and he all his previous battles and things are weighing on his mind, and it's impacting his personal life, which is quite strange. And just getting a message to say that the my audio is currently at bitrate 0. So if you can't hear me, guys, please do put a message down on the chat, and I'll try and sort that out again. I don't know why that's gone onto that. But yeah, just let me know if you can't hear me. Let me know if you can't hear me. So yeah, that's my poor attempt of trying to communicate with you if you can't hear me. Let me pop in there on the chat. If you can hear me, thanks. Alright, well, we're just gonna crack on anyway. So we got to know more in this episode about who that lady was in the with the blasting music, and yeah, it's a little bit interesting, really, because it's like she wasn't really menacing last week, to be honest. She's supposed to be this this big bad character in this one, but I didn't really get that vibe off her. It's just like, okay. And again, in this episode, I didn't really feel that she was that menacing. I liked her little backstory that happened, but the overall menacing vibe, not really at all. Didn't pick up on that. It's just like I could tell that she was trying to be like intimidating, but not really. I'll go more on that in a bit. There was a really cool scene in this one. So in this episode, the bit when they're in the car getting chased, and Kate is there with a bow and arrow out the window, as you've seen in the trailer. That is in this episode. So that was quite a really cool scene, because the camera was in the back seat, and it looked like they were using a 360 camera. I'm not too sure whether it was a 360 camera, but it seemed like it was a 360 camera, because it kept on panning round and going to the action in out of the rear window, and then back to Clint and Kate, and he would like do different different pans and things, and I thought that was a really beautifully shot piece, to be honest. So I was really like that one. What else can I say that is spoiler free? It was great use of some trick arrows in there, and we get to learn a bit more about some trick arrows, and one was a really cool one. It's Kate says in it that it's like there's 4 more arrows in there that's more dangerous than this, so it's like pretty cool. It's like, because you don't get to see a lot of his trick arrows. It's like you see all the exploding ones and the tripwire ones, but this one you see a lot more of them, which is really awesome. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see more trick arrows in the future, hopefully. Whether Kate will make some, or whether Clint will use some even newer trick arrows. Who knows? But so I'll look at my notes to see if there's anything spoiler free I can tell you guys. I don't think there is. Again, Haley Steinfeld done a great job as Kate Bishop. I really think that she was the right choice for this role, because she is ace in it, pretty much completely ace in it. Yeah, I think that is where we're going to end that spoiler free section of the review, and we're going to move into spoiler territory now. So if you haven't seen the episode, I do recommend pausing this here, go and watch the episode and come back and have a chat. But if you're fine with having the spoilers and things like that, then do please carry on. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and notification bell, because I'm going to be doing these every single Wednesday, and then we'll be doing Boba Fett reviews after as well. We got loads of Doctor Who content and loads of Disney content as well. So I think that is fair warning. Now for your spoiler territory. So we are in spoiler territory now. So first of all, it's like I was saying earlier, that we get the big bad Maya's backstory a little bit, and I thought it was really cute that she's having a chat with her dad when she's young. So we established that she is deaf, and she speaks in American Sign Language. And I thought it was really cute when she asks, "Are dragons real?" Now, to me, yes, dragons are real. I love dragons. But he does say, he's like, he says something like, the father says that if they are real, then they're in another world. Now we know that dragons are real in the MCU because of Shang-Chi, and that is in a different world, a different realm. So yeah, it was a nice little nod to Shang-Chi there. And also, another thing that Maya is an amputee as well, so we heavily know in this episode, is like pointed out like 3 times that she's got a prosthetic limb. So her right leg, I believe, because you see that when she's a kid, you just see the little bit of a foot, and then when she's an adult and she's boxing, you see that this is one of the steel rod ones, and they pointed out as well when she's fighting Hawkeye, and he like hits it and you can feel it it's hard. So yeah, we pointed out 3 times about that. So Ronan killed Maya's dad. So yeah, we know now why. There's a big thing, because we knew it was going to be something like that Ronan had killed a member of the family and stuff like that, but it was the dad. So it'd be interesting to see now what Maya's father actually did to make Ronan kill him, because Ronan wasn't just killing anybody. He was killing people who were really wrong, that they didn't deserve to live after from the blip and things like that. So that was pretty interesting. So we can see straight away from the beginning of the episode that it's a vendetta, and we all knew that it was going to be something like that. So it's just confirmed that it was her father that died, but she's not the one really in charge. It looks like it's her dad's brother, so her uncle. Who that is, we do not know, but there was a big bulk of a person there, and they like pinched her cheek when she was a child. Are we led to believe that that's going to be the Kingpin? We are in New York City, So, could be Kingpin could be the leader, because it could be she's the leader of the tracksuit gang, but then the Kingpin obviously is the leader of pretty much all the gangs in New York. So I think we might have Kingpin coming in. As you can tell, I haven't read any spoilers or rumors or anything about Hawkeye, so you guys might be like screaming at me now, going, "Yes, it is Kingpin. We've been told that, blah blah blah." So yeah, that's just my theory. Because it is a guy in a suit, and he's quite big and bulky. So look then. So Maya then. So back in present day, Maya says to Hawkeye, to Clint, in sign language. I was speaking to him, and he doesn't really speak a lot of sign language, as you can tell. Then really there, and she. Then she like tells him that he relies on technology too much, referring to his earpiece. But his response was like, "My main weapon is 2 sticks and a string." I thought that was great. It's like, because he made that point in Age of Ultron when he was trying to talk to Wanda, and he's like saying, "He's like, none of this makes sense. It's like I'm fighting. There's a robot invasion and I'm fighting him with a bow and arrow," or something like that. So he's like, he's clear. He's like going, "I've got a bow and arrow. This isn't like advanced technology," even though he's got a load of trick arrows. But yeah, it's a beautiful bit of slow-mo as well, where he shoots an arrow to free Kate, and he's like flying through the air, and then he lands in a ball pool, and then he kind of like dives under the ball pool, and you can't see him, which reminds me of one of my D&D characters. It's like he always dives under the snow or something like that, and just like worms his way around to do surprise attacks, and that's what Hawkeye did in this ball pool. So I love that scene. It was a brilliant little scene. I talked about the 360 camera, which is really cool effect, and I hope they do more of that. Maybe not in Hawkeye, but in other shows or films of Marvel, because that was a really nice effect. So one of the trick arrows, what I said earlier about like it was a cool one, is the Pym arrow, and you can see on the side it says Pym, so you can tell this is going to explode, like go a lot bigger, because he just gets Kate to fire an arrow in the air, and when it's coming back down, he shoots it, and a massive arrow comes down. How are they going to clear that up? I don't know, because he just left the scene after, so there is now this big massive arrow in one of the bridges in New York. So yeah, they'll have to clean that up somehow, won't they? Otherwise traffic won't flow through there. I thought that was pretty cool. Another funny scene again. It's like the comedy on this is, it's subtly sometimes it's in your face, but it's like it's good as well. It's like I really love the humor in it. So it's like Kate and Clint are on the train, and Kate just goes, "We gotta walk the dog," and it's just like completely random out of the blue, and then Clint starts talking to her about different things and stuff, and different bits and bobs, and then because he's out got his earpieces smashed and stuff, and then he's just like, "We gotta walk the dog. He's been cooped up all day," and she just smiles, going, "Yeah, and we're kind of on the same wavelength and things now." So, because obviously he can't hear her. So he doesn't have his earpiece in, and then the emotional scene I was on about earlier with him is he can't hear his son when his son phones, and Kate has to write down everything for him, and not picking up like that he's deaf and he can't hear it, and stuff. And he even says, it's like, "Oh, great to hear your voice," and I thought you could see that Clint was getting very emotional and things, especially when he said it's okay if you're not home for Christmas. And you can see his heart breaks there, and I think that's the first time that Kate then realizes that Clint isn't this massive avenger. He is a person with a family and a real life that he needs to get back to, and he's trying to save her life pretty much because she stupidly put on the Ronin outfit. So that was really, really somber, and yeah, quite quite emotional. Yeah, quite emotional scene. That is, and he even says as well that he's not a role model and stuff like that. So that's why he doesn't need his big flashy costume. And because at the end of the day, his job was a spy and an agent for Shield. So he did a lot of questionable things. We don't know any of that and stuff like, but he would have been spying on people and killing people as well. Probably most likely he doesn't kill an innocent person, but he's like saying I'm not a role model, and also he knows he's Ronin, so he knows what he did during the post blip there, but she doesn't. She knows that he's protecting. He knows who the Ronin is and is protecting them. So yeah, that's pretty emotional there. But in that scene as well, it's like Kate draws a costume for him, and it is like the original Hawkeye costume, the mask and everything with the H on there, and he's just like, nah, my wife would divorce me if I wore something like that. Yeah, so then they break it back into Kate's mother's apartment to try and get some dirt on everyone, and Hawkeye does hear like a door creak, and it's only subtle. It's like it's not. Usually when a door creaks, it's like it's in your face sound effect, but this one was subtle because I just picked up. I was like, was that a door? And he did. You could see him like look back, and he starts walking through the house and leaves Kate there. And then he walks into this room, and then I think his name's Jack, the stepdad, got Ronin's sword to his throat, and that's where it ends. So we might have a bit of a fight scene at the beginning of next episode, or you might just be chatting about it and be like, where did you get the sword, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, really interesting episode. Again, it was a slow pace. It was like action packed at the beginning, but then it brought it right back down. And I think next week is going to be because usually around about episode 4 there is like the talkiness of it. We've only got 3 episodes left, and it's a bit it's a bit gutting really, because I am really enjoying this. But whether we're going to have a Hawkeye Series 2, which where Kate Bishop will be the main light of it, who knows. And also in Black Widow, the post-credit scene showed Yelena having a photo of Clint and saying, this is the person responsible for your sister's death. So are we going to see her in this film, in this series, or are they going to use that in another film? Because it's got to be, isn't it? She's got to be in this, and I thought she would have been the main bad for this to try and kill Hawkeye, but obviously not, and we've only got 3 episodes left. So are they going to be that bold to try and like just squeeze it in somewhere, or will we actually get it heard in next episode? And then 3 episodes I think will be enough to introduce, do the problem, and then do the resolution of the story between her and Hawkeye. So that is quite an interesting one to think about. But I want to know what you guys thought of the episode. Please do let me know in the comments below what you thought, and also any rumors and stuff that you've heard is happening. Do you think it's the Kingpin, and do you think Yelena is going to appear in this at some point? Oh, real question, who is Uncle, says Brian. Glad you picked up on that. I'm thinking Uncle is going to be the Kingpin. So yeah, I think that's who I'm putting my money down on the Kingpin. So it's like, I'm not too sure. Like I said earlier, I haven't seen any rumors or spoilers about the series, so it's all speculation. So some people might say that yes, he definitely is, but I'm just thinking because he's in a suit and he's a big bulky guy, because you don't get to see his face, you just get to see that he's wearing a suit and things like that, and he's got quite big hands. Kingpin, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Kingpin. But yes, so I am going to end that there, and I'll see you next week. Hopefully we will be on time. We're doing the review next week, but just to let you know, on the 15th it is going to be in the afternoon, because I'm gonna go watch Spider-Man. Did you know Kingpin might be CGI? Probably because of his size, really, I'm guessing. with that one. But thanks, Brian, for your comment, and I'll see you next week for another Hawkeye review. Till next time. Ooh. Let's make sure I get the right buttons. Let's have a look. There we go. Till next time, guys.